You might grab a bowl of cereal this morning to get your day going. Americans spend around $10 billion a year on cereal, but sales have been slumping over the last 15 years because of changing eating habits and new competition for breakfast. To buck that trend, Kellogg's has launched Kellogg's Origins. The brand features a range of cereals, oats and granolas with simple ingredients. General Mills is putting more natural ingredients in Chex, and Cheerios are now gluten-free. Other companies are also looking for ways to boost sales. Leigh Gallagher is the assistant managing editor at Fortune magazine. Leigh, good morning.
Good morning.
This is a big move by Kellogg.
A very big move and somewhat, I don't want to say desperate, but really sorely needed one. Yeah. Kellogg has seen cereal sales slump. It saw its worst profit in more than a decade last year, and it really needs to bring this category back because it's one of its, obviously, it's its mainstay product. It really invented breakfast over 100 years ago when it first came up with cereal to begin with.
Especially what's happening with cereal sales now?
A couple things are happening. Number one, there's a lot of consumer trends happening, or behavioral habits happening. Cereal was at its peak when dad worked and mom stayed home with the kids and put a big box of sugary cereal on the table with a carton of milk, and they just, were entertained for the hour. That's one thing. We're having fewer kids and everybody works and everyone's on the go. But second, this is the bigger issue. What we call big food, the big packaged processed food companies are under attack. They are seeing the most disruptive time than they have ever experienced in the past 40, 50 years. We did a big cover story on this a couple months ago, and we said that basically big food is under attack from startup granola. And what's happening is you see it everywhere you go. Everyone is obsessed with organic, natural, fresh, wholesome. And this is happening in the supermarket. It's happening at the restaurant chains. It's happening at the meat processing plants.
But Kellogg bought Kashi cereal, which is a more organic, California-based one, and essentially a lot of people think have crushed that brand.
Yes, the sort of painfully ironic thing about this for Kellogg is that they were way ahead of the game when they bought Kashi in 2000.
They knew the trend. So
way ahead of it. This was a very counterculture-y brand out in La Jolla near San Diego, and they left it alone, and it thrived. But then they started getting their hands into it in around 2007, and that's when things started to go south for Kashi. So they are trying to turn that around, but it's a problem.
So what does healthy eating mean for the company? What does it mean for the customer?
Well, healthy eating has changed. It used to be that healthy eating meant sugar-free, fat-free, low-calorie. Healthy now means full fat in many cases if it's natural. I mean, look what's happened with Greek yogurt. Much of that is very full fat. It's not necessarily low calorie, but it's going through the roof. It's thrown everyone for, it's really been disruptive.
Do the big companies, the big food companies, do they get it? Do they understand this new trend? They do.
Oh yes, they get it, and they're acting very quickly. Most of them are making acquisitions of these niche startup brands. So,
but very often when a big company buys a small company, they don't understand the culture and they sometimes ruin it.
Like Kashi, but so far we haven't seen that on this latest round. I mean, Campbell Soup bought Bolthouse Farms, this kind of carrot juice that you see a lot in Whole Foods. A lot of acquisitions. I mean, General Mills bought Annie's Organic, so that's happening all over the place. But then there's other companies like Hain Celestial is sort of the Procter & Gamble of organic food, and they have just kind of rocketed on all this, and they're getting shelf space in big superstores, in big supermarkets that they wouldn't have gotten 10 years ago.
All right, Leigh Gallagher, thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't have to give up Frosted Flakes just yet.
Not just yet. They still make them.
I love me some Frosted Flakes. Thank you so much.